And even now blue is always here, and even now blue it shines so clear. I don't need a prayer or even words to say. No matter what I do, I'll never reach your answer. Colors of summer are sealed on my heart, and rolling right down from my cheeks is the sound of love to start. The words I have for you are stuck, it just feels like a curse that I can't contain. Will the two of us meet again? I wish I told you back then. My hands will feel what to wear this time. Lies of this galaxy so fast about me.
Hey YouTube, it is I, TDI Fan 2024, and welcome to another review video. In this video, as you guys can see, based on the title and picture, I just wrapped up finishing my binge of Total Drama Pahkitew Island. And now in this video, I will be going through my thoughts on the season, as well as showing you guys my character ranking. I'll have a tier list set up, and I will be ranking the characters on the tier list based on my personal opinion on each and every character that is in this season. So, yeah, with that out of the way, we might as well get on with the character ranking. Let's do this. Let's start with the bottom two characters, the very worst of the worst characters, in my honest opinion, from this season. And I put them both on the two worst tiers, but there's one that I think really outshines when it comes to how bad they are, in my opinion. And as you can see, it's Sugar. Total Drama, Sugar. Yeah, I hate Sugar. Like, I legit hate Sugar. I tried to find positive things to say about her, but I just couldn't. Like, after seeing the season again, it's been like years since I watched Pahkitew Island, and now that I saw it again, now that I'm more older, more mature, and I rewatched the season, I can tell you guys with a passion that I despise Sugar. I hate the fact that she made it to the final three. I just really do not like Sugar at all. And I am just, I mean, I know she was like kind of like the villain role, like ever since they got rid of Scarlet and Max. Of course, they need someone else to fill in the villain role and Sugar, but I just do not like Sugar at all. She's definitely one of the worst characters in the entire series, in my opinion, and that's why she's at the bottom worst of the worst. And now Amy, who I just put in the really bad tier. Yeah, I don't like Amy either. I actually dislike her quite a lot. Not as much as Sugar, but she's pretty close. I just don't like how she treats her twin sister. I just don't like her at all. I'm glad she got out early, but still, the time that she was spent, or the time spent of her that she spent on this show, is just bad, and I didn't like it at all. I wanted her to be out of the screen entirely, and I'm just glad she got out early. And yeah, those two are definitely the worst characters in this season, in my opinion. But now let's move on to characters that aren't great, but aren't that bad compared to these characters. Now let's talk about the remaining characters left that I haven't talked about. So as you can see, in the bad tier, I only included Scarlet. And I know Scarlet does have her fans. I just could not get with her. Honestly, I preferred her before her whole villain arc, like when she revealed herself that she was like a true mastermind and stuff. Based on what I've seen from comments, I'm guessing most of you guys probably feel the same. I could be wrong, but like once she revealed her true intentions, things went downhill for her character. And honestly, I'm just glad she got out when she did, but I felt like she kind of made it a bit too far. But that's just because I don't really like her as a character. I thought she was all right. I liked her bits more when she was like acting compared to when she was showing her villain side. And yeah, overall, I just consider her as a pretty bad character. But I know she does have her fans. So, like I said, this is just my personal opinion. Now, next, the tier that are saying that they're okay. Beardo and Sammy, or Sammy actually. That's her real name, but people call her Sammy because of Amy. Anyways, Beardo, the first boot of the season. The character here that, of course, based on appearance, you can already tell that this character has first boot character written all over. And obviously, he got the first boot. I mean, all Beardo did was make noises. He wasn't really helpful at all to his team, but I kind of have a soft spot for this guy. I mean, I personally wouldn't have him be the first boot. I would have Sugar, of course, be the first boot. But Beardo, I understand why he got out first. Like of course, I saw the season. I know why he got out first. It made sense. But I would have loved to see how they would handle his character if he stayed a couple more episodes. I feel like he would probably redeem himself as a character. He would probably get more fans, of course. And yeah, honestly, I just feel like some of these first boot characters, if they stayed longer, they would probably be a lot more liked or a lot less liked. I'm not sure about Stacy or the LARPers, but Beardo, it could have been either way. And I kind of like his design. Like he looks like a chill dude and someone that you'd like to hang out with. But like I said, I do understand why he got out first. And since he was only there for one episode, of course, I can't put him anywhere above. I think okay is a good spot because I don't fully dislike him. I don't think he's bad. I just think based on the time given to him that we've seen, he was just okay. But if they were ever to make another season, sorry I've been stuttering a lot, but it is what it is. If they were able, or if they were ever to make another season to bring back contestants, then I would not be upset if they bring back Beardo, give him some redemption. But I think that's enough about Beardo. Let's get to Sammy, the other twin, the nice twin, if you will. Yeah, Sammy, she's pretty bland. The twins overall are just basic, in my opinion. But I do prefer Sammy because she did have a lot more moments. Like, I liked her friendship she had with Jasmine. And honestly, I feel like if she stayed a little longer, she probably would have had a much better character, get more development, and she probably would have become a better character, and she probably would have been a much more enjoyable character and a much more liked character. But of course, her rivalry between her and her twin sister was pretty much what derails her character, especially in the episode that she gets eliminated. Like, her and Amy, like, honestly, the whole dynamic between those two is just not my cup of tea. It was like all right for the first two episodes, but after like episode 3, the last episode that Amy was in before she came back, it kind of like just got annoying and I didn't really like it. And overall, Sammy as a character by herself is just not a great character. She's just okay. And that's why both her and Beardo are in the okay tier. Now for the good tier. This might be controversial because as you guys can see, Dave is on the good tier. And I know how much people despise Dave, which is completely understandable based on how he was in the season, especially in the later half. Like, Dave was out of control. And it was honestly hard for me to watch. I honestly did not want to watch those moments when Dave was completely insane. However, I think as a character, Dave is a good character, and I'm not the only one who thinks of this. Like today, I saw the finale, right? I looked through the comments section, and I know I'm not the only one who thinks that Dave is a good character. There are a few other people out there who would think the same. So I'm not the only one. And I'm guessing some of you guys watching this probably also think the same. Some. Because I know the majority of us would not even think of Dave as a good character, especially with how he was portrayed, especially in the finale. The finale was what got everyone to hate this character, and it's completely understandable because I even hated him on that episode. If it wasn't for that episode, I would be like, oh, he's a good guy, but I would have put him on the really good tier even if it wasn't for the finale and the episode where he got eliminated. They honestly did his character dirty because at the start, he seemed chill, he seemed normal. Then things just took a turn for the worst as soon as he had a crush on Sky. And I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks of this, but I would have loved to see him and Sky. Like, they remind me of, like, Mike and Zoe, just not as good. But still, I liked that ship. I mean, that was like the only other ship besides Jasmine and Sean that made sense. And honestly, I liked that ship. I even prefer it over Jasmine and Sean. But of course, Jasmine and Sean makes more sense and is the end game ship of this season. But yeah, Dave as a character, I felt like he could have been a lot more. He could have been better if the writers didn't just butcher his character. And yeah, this season's got a lot of issues. I'll talk about my thoughts on the season as a whole after this character ranking. But yeah, Dave. I still like him as a character. I plan on bringing him into Total Paper Island, where I will hopefully redeem this character. But yeah, Dave. Overall, he's just good in my opinion. Would have been great if it wasn't for those moments. But I think that's enough about Dave. I talked quite a lot about Dave. As you can see, I have thoughts about Dave. Not the thoughts that you think I'm thinking, but anyways, now let's just go to Ella. Ella, she's a fan favorite. I know a lot of people like Ella, even love Ella. She's like the dawn of this season, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Ella, overall, I thought she was an all right character. Like, she's sweet. There's nothing that I don't like about her. But I'll have to admit, her elimination was kind of BS, even though, because of course, if you saw the episode, her team won, right? But because of her sinning, which Chris did not want her to do, and Sugar full on exposed her, yeah, she got out for it. And I was reading the comments. A lot of people thought that was the most BS unfair elimination, and I would agree. Ella's elimination in Pahkitew definitely is the most unfair, but it is what it is. She wasn't like my top. She's not in my top 3, as you can see in the tier list. I thought she was a pretty good character for the time that she was in this season, and I wouldn't be upset if she comes back. Hopefully, I'll like her a lot more if she does, but I just don't know if season 3 of the reboot will even be a returning season. I hope so, but it's very unlikely. We'll just save that for once I get to the reboot seasons. But yeah, Ella, overall, she was a pretty good character, and that's pretty much all to say about her. Max, the quote-unquote evil character in this season, the one who didn't hide the fact that he was evil, because he wanted to show everybody that he's truly evil from the start. And I thought that the bits that we had with Max was pretty funny. He was a very funny character. Competitive wise, he stinks, but when it comes to his personality and how he acted and was portrayed in this season, I thought he was a funny character, one of the funniest characters for sure. So that was pretty much the only thing what I like about him, especially like that, that sweet soft side he had in the episode where they had to carry babies through like this dangerous challenge. But yeah, overall, Max is just a pretty good, funny character. He kind of overstayed his welcome, like 5th place, honestly. I don't know, but it is what it is. Now Leonard, the second boot of this season, who came back in Redonkulous Race, then got out first. Yeah, this character, he's pretty good. He was also funny. For the 2 episodes that he was in, and also that 1 episode of Redonkulous Race, he was pretty funny. But of course, like, he does not have like finale character material at all written all over this character, so it made sense why he got out early. And yeah, his elimination, I wasn't upset with it, but I would have preferred if it was Sugar, of course. But yeah, it is what it is. Leonard, he's a good character overall, not bad, but he can get pretty annoying. Him, Max, and Beardo, all 3 of those, they're good / okay, but they can get annoying. So yeah, also Dave was very annoying when he was like on his simp mode. But that's it for the good tier. Now for the really good tier. As you can see, I have 3 characters on the really good tier. Let's start with Jasmine. Jasmine, she sure was robbed when she got out. Other than Ella, she's definitely one of the most robbed characters or contestants in this season, because she should have been the final 3. Like Sugar, no. Jasmine, yes, like those people who would have their username, a character they like, yes, and a character they don't like, no. But like if I did that, I'd be Jasmine, yes, Sugar, no. But if you know, you know. Anyways, Jasmine, she was a really good character. Competitively, she was one of the best, or the best even. She was definitely the most skilled character here. It's either her or Sky, but I'm betting on Jasmine. And she's also one of the tallest. And she's one of the most athletic, and she's honestly a really good character. Her moments were great. There was only one moment that I didn't like. It was the challenge where they had to like grab those, whatever they were, those sticks, and they had to like take it back to their side, but they had to like fight the other team once they, encounter each other. And when it was Jasmine versus Sean, she got upset when Sean, punched her and she fell to the water. But I mean, like, I guess you could kind of say that. I mean, it is kind of understandable, but I do see like some sort of like petty side into Jasmine, and there were a few moments where I was like, Jasmine, what are you doing? Like, overall, there's a part of her personality that I didn't like, but most of her character I did like, and that's why she's on the really good tier. And honestly, I would have loved to see her in the finale. Like, her versus Sean would have been great. But I am definitely happy with the finale we did get. But I wouldn't be upset if it was like Sean versus Jasmine. That would have been a pretty great finale. But hey, she got fourth, not bad. But I think she should have gone third at least. That would have been a much better placement for her. But it is what it is. Anyways, Rodney. This might also be controversial because I've been reading comments and I know a lot of people did not like Rodney at all. They thought he was really annoying, especially with his whole like love arc with like every girl that touches him or every girl that talks to him or every girl that looks to him. But that's just a part of his character. Like, if you haven't noticed, or like, I don't know if this is real or not, but apparently I heard that his like mother passed away when he was like super young, so he never really had a female figure in his life or a mother figure in his life to teach him about these things. But overall, I thought he was really funny, especially like the fourth episode, the episode where they had to like, do that truth or dare challenge with the chicken. That was where honestly Rodney was at his peak when it comes to how funny he is as a character, and I liked him also based on his design. Like, his design alone, I was like, I can tell I'm gonna like this character. But I do have to admit, his whole arc or his whole personality about the girls and stuff, yeah, that was a bit out of hand, and that could get annoying at times. But overall, I thought he was a really funny character. I was kind of rooting for the guy, especially when I first watched Pahkitew Island. For some time, he was like my favorite character in Pahkitew, but right now he's like top 5. But it's not. I don't think I'd put him at 1 now because I rewatched it and I'm like, yeah, he wasn't as good as I thought he was, but he's still a really good character, at least from this season. Like, this season did not have a great cast, but we'll get to that when I talk about the season. But yeah, Rodney, great character, and honestly, I'm just glad that he exists. Next is Topher. Yeah, he was honestly a really good character. I know he has his fans as well. And from the time that he spent on this show, he was really funny and really quirky. Like, he was kind of like Sierra. He's like the male Sierra, but not that crazy. I mean, he was still pretty crazy, but not that crazy. Anyways, he was like a super fan of Chris. He wanted to be like Chris. He even dressed up like Chris. And there was a few moments where he wanted to like be the host. Like, he wanted to like have his moment where he wanted to like do what Chris did for a bit. But every time he tried, Chris was like, no, that's my job. And it was funny. What he and Chris had going on was pretty funny. And I did get a few chuckles out of it, or it did get a few chuckles out of me anyways. But I would have to admit, he kind of also overstayed his welcome. Like, competitively, he's not the best. Athletically, he's also not the best. Like, I'd say even Dave is more athletic than Topher, which is kind of weird. But yeah, like, most of the time we see him, he's like either just chilling or not even giving a crap, especially in the episode that he does get eliminated. But there was a reason for it, because he was waiting for someone to call him so that he can replace Chris. But if you watched it, then you know that was just a whole prank, or it was all what's the word I'm looking for? It was all planned out. It was just like it was a stunt from Chris, because Chris somehow he knew that Topher was going to try that or something. I don't know. Maybe Chris had it all planned, but yeah, it's kind of messy. But for the time that Topher was on the show, he was pretty funny. He's not a bad character. He's just a really funny character and a really good character overall. And that's why he's also on the really good tier. Now for the characters I think are great. Overall, I don't think there's a character here that I would honestly consider to be one of the best characters ever in Total Drama. But there are 2 characters I think are great and deserve to be in the great tier, even though they do have their iffy moments. But let's start with Sean. As you can see, he's there first. Honestly, I'd put Sean as the number one character out of this cast. I know most of you guys would as well. And I know we're all well, not all of us, but most of us anyway, we're probably rooting for Sean to win. And we're happy that he's like the actual canon winner. Well, at least most of us consider him to be the canon winner. But yeah, Sean, he's quirky. He's got that whole zombie apocalypse thing. He's like, just a character who's ready for the zombie apocalypse. He's a zombie freak show, if you will. He's kind of like Ezekiel, but at least better. That's kind of like how I describe Sean. Of course, he's not homeschooled, but he kind of gives me Ezekiel vibes. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but yeah, Sean. I mean, he won, right? So of course he is a great character. I mean, they wouldn't choose a bad character to win. Besides Heather, but the season that Heather won, she was not a bad character. She was one of the greatest characters in this season, so it made sense. And Sean was definitely one of the greatest characters in this season, so it makes sense that he made it to the finale and won. He's a great character. I liked most of his moments. There were a few moments where I was like iffy on, but overall, Sean is definitely a great character, and I'm glad he won. And now Sky, who's the one that lost to Sean. They were both the two finalists. And honestly, out of this cast, I think the one thing that the writers did do right was choosing the two finalists, Sean and Sky. They definitely deserved to be in the finale based on their performance in the game and their personalities and whatnot. Even though there are a lot of moments that I do not like about Sky, of course, most of them have to deal with her and Dave, but it's messy. This season is messy. But overall, Sky, she was fun. I liked her. She was great for the most part anyway. There were a few parts where she was not great at all, but it is what it is. Like, this was when the Total Drama series wasn't at its peak anymore. This was what some fans expected to see, especially after All Stars. So, But yeah, that's pretty much how I'd rank the characters. I only think 2 out of the 14 cast members here are actually great. And yeah, with that said, let's just move on with my personal thoughts on the season overall. Now for my thoughts on the overall season. Now, this was the first actual season that I watched live when it aired on Cartoon Network here in North America. And so you'd think I have a soft spot for it, right? Wrong. Because, of course, this wasn't the first season that I watched, period. But it was the first season I watched live. And I remember seeing commercials for it, like promos and stuff like that. But yeah, this season, I don't know. I don't remember if I was excited for it. I think I was, because at the time I was like a super Total Drama fan. After this resurgence of rewatching Total Drama, I've become a much bigger fan than I was like a year ago. But still, at the time when this was airing, I was like a major Total Drama fan, and I was like, I'm guessing I was like super pumped. I don't remember if I was, but I'm guessing I was, because Total Drama, new season. And then I watched it, and I do remember that I was a bit disappointed. Like, not gonna lie, All Stars was disappointing, but as a kid, I at least enjoyed All Stars. And rewatching it now, All Stars does have its moments where you can at least have enjoyment from it or get enjoyment from it. While Pahkitew, this season was just honestly a snooze fest. It was hard to get through the season, mostly. Like, honestly, this season there was just a lot of moments where it was just bad, especially with how they handled some of their characters, like Dave and Sky, and I guess Leonard, Rodney, Sugar, Beardo, etc. But yeah, this season was just so hard to go through in my from in my perspective, because honestly, like, the challenges weren't great, the cast isn't great. When it comes to each generation's cast, honestly, I'd say Pahkitew Island's cast takes the cake for the worst cast. Like, Revenge of the Island, sure, it wasn't as good as the first 3 seasons, but it was at least still enjoyable, and it felt like a Total Drama season. This season kind of didn't feel like a Total Drama season, and that's kind of sad, because I think we all had a lot of expectations but this season was just honestly dog water. The way they handled characters, the story, however they wrote this season was just not really great. It was really messy. I honestly cannot decide if I dislike this more than All Stars. They're both definitely the bottom two seasons, but I honestly can't decide which one I prefer over the other. I do plan on making a seasons ranking once I'm done with this binge, so I'll have some time to think about it. I mean, I barely finished it today, so I'm gonna need some time to think about which season I prefer. But yeah, Total Drama Pahkitew Island, overall, it was not great. It had its moments, but overall, it was just disappointing. And if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd have to go with, let's see, what did I rate All Stars out of 10? I think I gave All Stars like a 3 or a 4. So I'll just give Pahkitew a 4 because it was really disappointing. The animation was nice. There were a few characters that I enjoyed, and yeah, like there were like 2 or 3 challenges that I thought were fun, but overall, it was just not fun. This season is not fun. It's honestly sad. But I do know the next season is a lot better. I also remember watching the next season. Even it's not really a season, it's like a spin-off. Total Drama Redunkless Race, or Total Drama Presents The Redunkless Race. I also remember watching that live as well, so that's fun. And also, from what I remember, I enjoyed it a lot, and I honestly cannot wait to rewatch it because I just saw 2 seasons that were actually bad, and I hope that this Redunkless Race season will, make it worthwhile. Like, make it, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Make the 2 bad seasons worth it because, whenever you have a lot of bad, you like once in a while you can get something good, like DreamWorks, for example, with Puss in Boots' Last Wish. And possibly, hopefully, the Wild Robot as well. And I don't even know why I'm still talking. That's it for this video. Those are my personal thoughts on the season, as well as my character rankings. And stay tuned for the Redunkless Race, which is a lot longer, which is good. So it'll take a bit more time. It'll take a while for me to make a review on that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your thoughts on the season? Pahkitew Island. And yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.